Hey guys, it's been a while since I made a crypto video, and that's because it's been a while since Bitcoin broke a all-time high of 20,000. So now I'm kind of back into it. I'm kind of king of all crypto again. So unfortunately, I had Ethereum most of the time, although I did have some Bitcoin also. So Ethereum has underperformed Bitcoin. So the question is, which should you buy, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or some other crypto altcoin? Well, so the answer to this depends on whether you think, for example, Bitcoin and Ethereum are fundamentally the same thing or fundamentally different. So if you think that Bitcoin and Ethereum are fundamentally the same, well, then you should buy Bitcoin because the leader, the number one, has its advantages, whether it's the number one company or in this case, the number one crypto. So in the case of the number one company, they're hard to compete with. I've learned this from video games. The number one guild, you can't compete with them. Everyone wants to join the number one guild, and they just dominate the entire server eventually. So the same is true with stocks. That's why these tech companies just keep getting bigger and bigger. They're trillion-dollar tech companies. Nobody can compete with them. Apple, Facebook, Google, Amazon. So with crypto, it's the same way. So if you think Bitcoin and Ethereum are fundamentally the same, you should buy Bitcoin because they have so many advantages from being number one. For example, there are a lot of places that only accept Bitcoin. They don't accept Ethereum, right? They just have so much more name recognition. The reason that Bitcoin, I think, is making all-time highs now is because new people are starting to get into crypto because they're worried that the US dollar is not stable, that we're overspending, and that's going to cause kind of an inflationary death spiral to the US dollar, much like we had in the 70s with stagflation, So now with Biden in office, maybe he'll outspend Trump. Odds are he will, because every president since, I can't remember, I think every president since I've been alive has outspent the last, right? So that's partly due to economic growth, but also if you look at just the as a percentage of GDP, it's also grown tremendously how much the government has spent, and that's the reason why Bitcoin's hitting new highs, just like gold, is because people are losing faith in the U.S. dollar because they're losing faith in the government to control its spending. So if you think that's the only thing there is to it, Bitcoin is probably the way to go. But from a technology point of view, Ethereum does have better technology with Casper coming out. Now, the problem is their technology is always changing. So the idea was to go to proof of stake where you wouldn't have miners anymore. You wouldn't have to expend all of this electricity, which is horrible for the environment, and it's just busy work. It's just total wasted effort, but it's their way of making the crypto secure, okay? So maybe it's a good idea, maybe it's not. I think Ethereum has a better idea, but it's hard to implement. So instead of using miners to verify transactions, with Ethereum Casper, they're going to be using validators. And how do you determine who the validators are? Well, by putting up stakes of Ethereum. So the more Ethereum you have, the more you are eligible to validate. And so the reward that you get from validation is from transaction fees. So since Ethereum is going to be a lot more, GPU efficient or CPU efficient, like crypto used to be, but now it's mostly GPUs. It's not going to take a lot of processing power. So you'll be able to validate large numbers of transactions and collect the reward, the fee, if you will. So like if the fee is 5%, that's a pretty big bonus, and it doesn't require all that electricity use. So when people mine Bitcoin, they're not actually profiting that much because they have to buy the mining rig. They have to buy the GPU, the hardware, the computer hardware to mine, and then they have to pay for the electricity. A lot of times their profit might only be 5-10%. They might even lose money if Bitcoin goes down while they're doing it, right? So this is a more efficient method. The problem is Ethereum has to have a consensus kind of, and they have to develop a new platform. So there's humans involved. So Bitcoin is kind of human proof, right? The rules are kind of set in stone. If you don't like the rules, you can go make your own Bitcoin, like Bitcoin Cash spun off from Bitcoin over a disagreement. Now, Ethereum, they're not going to have a spin-off like that because they kind of agree from the start, but they're minor disagreements, and that delays the entire launch of Casper. But I think once it launches, it could have huge potential. So that's why I have a little of both. I have Bitcoin and Ethereum. I have more Bitcoin than Ethereum right now, but I might go back to a 50-50 position. Like for all of 2020, I was in a 50-50 position between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I also had a little bit of Binance Coin, which actually outperformed all crypto for a while because they're the #1 exchange now. So they have their own benefits. When you have Binance Coin, you can pay some of the transaction fees for Binance using Binance Coin. So that's my position now. I have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Binance Coin. So yeah, if you like my crypto videos, make sure to like and subscribe. And I make all kinds of videos. I make videos about video games. I make videos about crypto, just all kinds of stuff. So if you like and subscribe this video, I'll make more crypto videos.